Hey, welcome back to Josh Talks Too Much. This is the podcast that I do where I interview some of my friends and my favorite people on the planet. Today we have one of my closest friends from college. I just call him Borucki. Borucki, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Josh. This is a change of scenery. I mean, or change of positions, I guess I should say. Because I'm usually the host, and you're the co-host or the guest, and now we're complete opposite.
Look at me. Look at me. I am the podcast host now. I'm pulling a Captain Phillips on you. If any of you might recognize us from where we do a podcast, Borucki actually started a podcast called Tribe of Nerds when we were in college. So we would just kind of talk about any nerd movies we've seen or really anything we wanted under that umbrella. So I remember, we were just talking about it a little bit where we were in our fraternity house and we would just be sitting around a glass table kind of talking through whatever trailer or whatever movie that we had just watched. And what gave you the idea to really get started with the podcast realm?
Yeah, so the podcasting is what got me to go for a communications major. I was a journalism minor, and then I was advised by Professor Collins and Dr. Christy Mazzaros Winkles. They were both like, "Hey, you should go for a communications major because that's gonna help out with your journalism degree, and if podcasting is what you want to do, you can try that out." The communications department, let's just say the professor that ran the audio stuff probably wasn't the right person to teach me about that stuff. And so, I was just like, okay, let's just do podcasting on our own. So I'm like, I got you guys involved to just do random podcasts. We didn't even really have a platform at this point, just kind of doing stuff for fun off of computer audio as we were talking about. It was just... It wasn't very good, I'll admit that. Even sometimes I'd bring up stuff to talk about that nobody cared about except me. So,
hey, it was a trial and error. We were going back and forth, figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
I know that, honestly, that's one of my fondest memories from college because it was something fun that we got to all do together. And it made it even more of a cherished memory because it's instead of oh yeah, we were doing this and just nobody cared about it, we got a little heated sometimes. I don't think we ever got angry, but I remember we would get into rankings, especially for Marvel movies.
Yes.
And I remember there was some we got a little into it on those movie rankings. So, but it was fun because we got to kind of work through it together and give our explanation for why we thought maybe a specific movie should have been over another one, or that I heavily enjoyed it. And that was honestly one of my favorite parts of college at that point.
Yeah. So basically then I graduated and then COVID hit and my career took a nosedive. I kind of was losing my way and I'm just I want to actually officially start a podcast. And so during COVID, I'm thinking, okay, we're nerds. And I wanted to start with you and Gabe and JJ and Will, because you four were my closest friends. JJ was my roommate in college, got me to join ATO. Will was super close to, then you and Gabe, obviously. And so I'm just like, okay, let's talk about Marvel and Star Wars. And I'm like, okay, so we're nerds. And I'm really into Survivor. So as everybody who knows me knows, or knows about me, you probably know I love Survivor. So I'm just like, yeah, let's call it the Tribe of Nerds. And so started on Spotify only at that point. And so at one point, Josh and Gabe were mainly the Star Wars guys, and JJ and Will were mainly the Marvel guys. And then Josh and Gabe would come over as well. So to Marvel, but that's pretty much where we started. And then eventually we just started branching out to other things. And really the podcast didn't start becoming what it is now until I'm going to bring up Survivor now. I joined this organization called Survivor Vanquish at the time. Now it's Vanquish Online Reality Games, and it's where you get to play these online Survivor, Big Brother, traders, these kind of games from the comfort of your own home, but it's raising money for Make-A-Wish. So yeah, so it's like for a good cause, and that's where I met a lot of my closest friends now. So like Kevin, um, and then Kristen and Shane, and just like a bunch of them. Survivor also got me to talk to Austin Fote, who was a Theta Chi when we were in college, and he had actually reached out just about Survivor, and that's how we started becoming friends because I knew that he liked Survivor because I almost had him play one of our Survivor games in college, but then he reached out and we
Oh,
officially talked about it more. And so, yeah, I mean that long-winded, but that's really how the podcast came to be. And now it's a lot bigger. I mean, I literally talk to people from around the world. I even have a friend who's from the UK, Michael. So like, it's really funny to. I never would have imagined that I would have one of my really good friends is from the UK. So.
and I know that you brought me on the it was the Deadpool and
Yes.
Wolverine
Yes.
podcast last year, and that's the first time because I don't know much about Survivor. Brookie has tried to teach me, but as most of my college professors know, I am a terrible student. So I have not learned much about it. I pick up little things here and there, but I still don't know much about it. But I got to meet Kevin, Sarah, and Cameron
Yes.
because that is where we were all on the Deadpool and Wolverine podcast.
Yes.
And I remember, like, I was like, oh, like, I'm kind of nervous. I've never talked to these people before. Like, I don't know how we're going to vibe together. And pretty much as soon as we all turned on our cameras and started, like, talking before we even started recording, I was like, these are, like, some of the funniest people I've talked to in a
Yeah.
very long time. Like, Kevin and Sarah immediately, well, all three of them, Kevin, Sarah, Cameron, automatically had me just cracking up.
Yeah.
They are like, Kevin and Sarah have that fun bicker back and forth, and I couldn't help it. Like, I felt bad laughing because I'm like, I don't even know, like, this is the first time I've met them, and I'm laughing at him making fun of her.
Yeah.
But like, you couldn't help it because it's just too good. So like, honestly, I like when you release like clips and videos of talking about Survivor because, like, number one, that helps me learn a little bit more about it.
Right.
But also number two, watching the group of people that you've assembled for your podcast be able to talk through it and something that you all kind of bond over and something that you all mutually love. um, I adore that, and I love getting to watch you guys talk about it because it's really fun, and it reminds me of, like, that's exactly how we were when you first kind of were like, hey, meet me in the ATO Alpha Tau Omega. That's where we were in.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, meet me in the ATO library, and we're going to put my computer up on this table, and we're going to just talk about Marvel movies. We're going to talk about Star Wars and like really whatever we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. I really I love your podcast because
Thank you.
it's just very nice, fun, genuinely kind people having fun and
Mhm.
mutually loving something, which I think, especially recently in a lot of nerd communities, it's gotten very negative.
Yeah.
So seeing a community, I'm going to say respectfully, a community of nerds,
Yes. Yeah.
is awesome because you guys are actually positive. And even if you don't like something, you don't necessarily dog on it. You're just kind of like, yeah, we didn't appreciate this part, but we still love this. And
Yeah.
I've always appreciated that about you. You're a very positive person. So
Thank you.
and I'm not always a positive person. So I need that balance in my life. And you're able to provide a good balance, especially when you're talking about this stuff like this that you absolutely love doing and you love kind of talking about it. So it's infectious, especially your love of Survivor. Like, it's kind of, I haven't been able to learn a lot, but everything I have learned is from you.
Yeah.
And I love learning about franchises from people who are just fans of it because you get a much more passionate version of just someone who knows about the show talking about it. But the people who are like truly passionate about the game being played or the dynamic being presented, you present it in a really good way where it kind of does get me like, I should really get off my ass and watch this show. Like, I
Yeah.
should stop rewatching The Office and I should start watching this show.
Yeah. Well, and when I said like people don't appreciate it as much as I do, it was Survivor, and like, but you guys learned a lot from you guys getting to play it in college when I did those seasons, and that always made me happy for you guys to get to enjoy that and just having fun with each other. And I think that was the important thing.
And I did
So,
have a very good villain moment.
oh, you did. You had some very fun villain moments. They are on YouTube, by the way, still on the Tribe of Nerds channel. So if you want to just watch Josh be a villain, then go watch it.
It was Josh all along with a candlestick in the library. But yeah, I love being on your podcast. Honestly, being on your podcast is kind of what made me want to do this and like interview more of my friends, keep talking about nerd stuff. And I still jump on Tribe of Nerds podcast.
Mhm.
Really, you'll reach out and be like, "Hey man, you want to be on this podcast?" And 99% of the time I'm like, "Yeah." Like
Yeah,
any opportunity I get to nerd out, I will take that opportunity. But
absolutely.
yeah, it's you really the way that we were able to kind of talk and have a good time, and I really admired that. And I kind of thought, like, I have a lot of awesome friends, and I'm blessed to know a lot of really good people in my life, and people that I'm truly like, I want the world to know who they are. And I want more people to be able to see truly how blessed I am with the friends that I have. So that's why I was like, hey, I want to start interviewing my friends and start talking about, what they love and kind of give a plug to them and what they're doing in life, because I want more people to watch Tribe of Nerds, because it's,
Yeah,
we're outspoken nerds talking about franchises that we love. And sometimes we've talked about movies that we didn't quite like that
yeah.
Marvel made, or we've talked about stuff that came out and we were like, we weren't really fans of that, but we still love the franchise. So I want more people to be a part of that, because it's an awesome podcast, and you have an awesome group of people that you've assembled to be a
Thank
part
you.
of that. So I want
Yeah,
more people to see that.
thank you. Yeah, I'm so grateful for the people that I've been able to get because of Vanquish and because of Survivor. Survivor's always been there for me, and so I mean, I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for Survivor. And I know that I've gotten some things from people being like, I don't understand why you like this so much, and it's like, because if I didn't have it, like, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so, like, um that, it is, that is why. And so um it it's just very important to me, and I'm just so grateful for everything I've been able to have in life, and such a great group of friends, and that's what's important to me. So, and I hope people can subscribe to Tribe of Nerds on YouTube, and just like people can watch it. And I want to do this for a living, and I know that's like wishful thinking, but like it's something I'm so passionate about, and that's all I want in life.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, go subscribe to Tribe of Nerds. I'm telling you to. It's a
Yeah,
good time and you will enjoy it.
yeah.
I
If
won't
you want to,
guarantee it for legal reasons, but I will say that you will enjoy it.
yeah, if you want to watch if you want to watch a guy with tiny hands cuss out a pirate, and you want to hear you want to hear people talk about like a multiverse as it pertains to more than just Marvel, like Survivor wise too, like there's so much fun stuff that we do. And yeah, again, I'm so grateful for it.
So I know that we kind of talked about how we would do a lot of podcasting for Marvel. So I figured we'd kind of talk about Marvel a little bit, because I
Yeah,
know that's a mutual love that we both have, is Marvel Comics and the Marvel Cinematic Universe as well. So I figured we'd get started out. I
yeah.
figured I would ask you two questions. Your favorite Marvel hero, and on the flip side, your favorite Marvel villain.
Ooh, all right. So I always give my top three for heroes. It's always Star Lord, Spider Man, and Black Panther. And rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Like, he made that character who he was, and um, I really feel like, I think I've talked about this with Will as well. As like, I think we both agreed, Chadwick Boseman passing away, I think really hurt the MCU when that happened. If like we were able to have him around as Black Panther to kind of focus the story more, I actually really think that it would be a lot better. I just think it completely threw them off. And I think there's a lot of other things that threw them off too, but that was a huge thing. Um, And then, yeah, I like Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. The Guardians movies, that trilogy is incredible, in my opinion. I just think the music and the heart and everything that James Gunn created with characters that were D-list comic book characters, like, at first, and James Gunn and the MCU made us love these characters. And especially Guardians 3, how it wrapped up that entire trilogy and made certain decisions make more sense. Like, because I know people weren't as big into like Drax or like Mantis, and then Guardians 3 made it like, no, this is how these versions of these characters are, this is who they are, and this is why you should love them and why their arcs have made sense this whole time. So that's something I really love about that. And then, yeah, Spider-Man. I mean, who doesn't love Spider-Man? Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man, but Andrew and Tobey both have their huge pluses as well. So there's not any of the Spider-Man that I hate.
If you
So
don't like Spider-Man, you're just not human.
yeah,
Spider-Man is like a universally beloved figure.
yeah. And then,
Honestly, yeah, love Spider-Man. But
yeah,
continue.
yeah. And then villains. So, I mean, Thanos is a big one. Thanos is always good, but I'm going to go with my guy, the Green Goblin. Willem Dafoe is just, it's Green Goblin. I mean, he's classic. He chews the scenery, uh, and just like the facial reactions and emotions that Willem Dafoe puts into Green Goblin are just incredible. Um, like what he only had, like 10 minutes in total in No Way Home, and he still was like such a great part of that movie. And then obviously
Stole the
Spider-Man
show.
One, yeah, Spider-Man One obviously, was our childhoods, and he was like still people, including us, to say, he's still one of the best villains ever in a comic book movie. Like, says a lot. So
Yep. Listen, I gotta say it because it's my favorite line in that movie. So I'm gonna lean in. It's gonna get creepy, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I offered you friendship, and you spat in my face.
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Yeah. Eventually, they will hate you. They love to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. Oh, I love him in that movie. He's
Yeah,
so good, dude. He's just so good.
yeah,
I'm gonna kill her nice and slow. And I'm like, oh, villain peak evil. Oh, he's so good.
yeah.
So I'll flip over and do my version. So I won't only make you suffer, I swear. So for I'll also do my top three because that's a very good idea. So really, my number one Marvel hero, we share this person on our list. I got the Spider-Man. He's a menace. But I love Spider-Man to the moon and back. I know that I showed you the other day on the podcast, and I posted a video about it with my picture.
Mhm.
But I have my Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire suit that
Yes.
I wore when I was like 5 years old, sitting right over here in the corner still. I love me some Spider-Man. What can I say, man? Number two, I love Captain America. I think he's always just one of those characters that I appreciate, characters that stick to their guns and they stick to their morals and values. Like, even like, go into a different universe, they have Batman. He's always like, I don't kill. And he sticks to that rule
Mhm.
pretty frequently, probably about 98% of the time sticks to that rule. And Captain America is one of those figures where if he says he doesn't support something, he does not support that thing, and he
Yeah.
will actively fight against that, which I always really like. And then the third favorite Marvel hero that I would have is 150%, probably has to be Doctor Strange. I really, really like Doctor Strange. I love the Sorcerer Supreme. My favorite comic book is one where Doctor Doom requests the support of Doctor Strange in fighting Mephisto in hell,
Oh,
so his mother can actually come back to life and not be stuck with Mephisto anymore, which is a amazing comic. Please go read that. It's phenomenal. Um, and then we also did villains. So we already know who I got sitting at number one, my big green bad boy. I have Dr. MF Doom, Victor Von Doom, sitting at number one at the top of the list. He is my wallpaper, so I'm staring at him right now while recording this. And I also, watch this, he actually sits right here on my lamp. He is my little
Awesome.
guy that keeps the lights going. So yeah, I have my Doctor Doom always nearby. He protects me. But my second favorite villain, he honestly flips back and forth between number one and number two. He's usually tied with Doctor Doom. Magneto. I think he is a very sympathetic villain, especially when you kind of see his overarching goal, where it's just kind of to live in peace and harmony. He just wants to, it's a shared planet. Let's not try to eliminate each other. Let's just live on this same planet. So I always have loved Magneto. And then my number three, this is really difficult because Marvel has a lot of really good villains. Honestly, I might have to go with my OG boy. I love Green Goblin, but I'm going to have to give this slot to Dr. Otto Octavius.
Yeah, yeah.
So when Spider Man 2 came out, Doc Ock, that's my boy. And in my other office, on the other side of the house, I actually do have a statue of Dr. Octopus. It's not too big, it's like this big, maybe. But yeah, it's just like a little metal statue of Doc Ock that my mom found at the store. And she just went, "Hey, isn't this cool?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. That's Dr. Octopus." And I was like, I could not stress to her how cool what she found was. I'm like, "This statue is everything to me, mother." But it was very cool. As soon as I got it, I was like, going in my room. And I've had it ever since. And I got that probably when I was like 6, 7 years old. So that was like 18 years ago. So that was a while ago. But yeah, those are definitely my favorites. Now we kind of went over like the heroes and the villains. Now I'll ask the hard one of what's your favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie?
Okay, so I mean, Endgame and Infinity War seems just too easy because it's Infinity War and Endgame, and they're
Peak writing.
yeah, like peak writing. Um, if I'm not including those, and I'm not including any of the Avengers or Civil War, like I feel like Guardians 3. I like all three Guardians, but Guardians 3 it just felt like everything came full circle for everybody. And then I'd say Spider-Man No Way Home is up there. I do think the setup maybe could have been done better, but the payoff is so good that it doesn't really matter to me as much. And then the original Black Panther, I think, is really really good. And like again, a lot of that comes down to Chadwick Boseman. Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger is amazing. Everybody really in that original movie, and I mean, unfortunately, like Wakanda Forever had got dealt a really bad hand, so it did the best it could.
um, yes, it did. But so yeah, those are amazing picks, especially Guardians 3. I remember that like I went and saw that with two friends, and within like 5 minutes, I remember that like we were crying. And we were like, "Oh my gosh, like this is gonna be a trip." Like literally we didn't even make it to like, "Oh my gosh, yep, we're walking around now," and we were just bawling our eyes out. We're like, "Wow, this is about to put us through the ringer."
Yeah,
Um my number one favorite, I feel bad because I feel like a lot of other people say this movie because it's just a really good movie. But Captain America: The Winter
yeah,
Soldier,
yeah.
one of my favorites.
Mhm.
Also, surprisingly high on the list, the OG Iron Man.
Iron Man's
Um,
great too.
it might just be because of nostalgia, but truly, I also think that it's just a really good movie.
Yeah, agreed.
And really, that's the one that set up the foundation, and that's one that kind of built the foundation for Tony Stark as well. And yeah, John Favreau did an awesome job. Um, Probably the third one. I'm also sticking away from like Avengers movies and like big team up films.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really wow. We have a lot of really good movies. Thank God.
yeah. A lot of good ones stops some of the bad ones.
Thank God. My last favorite Marvel movie, honestly, I would probably go with No Way Home
Yeah,
because that is, obviously we both talked about our love for Spider-Man, but that movie as well, the villains in it. so amazing. And having Doctor Strange in it, like he was in it, but he didn't play too big a part. And
Right.
having Spider-Man be someone that, like, people always underestimate how strong and smart Spider-Man is compared to like other heroes.
Right.
And they're like, oh, well, he couldn't fight Doctor Strange. And we're like, are you sure about that?
You sure about that?
Like,
What was it in with
yeah, he
geometry?
can.
Like
Yeah, he's
that fits
smart as
Spider-Man.
hell. Like, he can do a lot of stuff. People always be underestimating some of these heroes. And I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
don't do that. Like, don't do that. But yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home was phenomenal. And like, gut wrenching. That
Yeah.
was one of the Spider-Man movies that like it just hit me. Like, yeah, we have the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield, where the death of Gwen Stacy, but like I can't lie, the death of Aunt May in that movie hit me so much harder than Gwen Stacy did. And it like the music that they added onto it was gut wrenching. Tom Holland's acting afterwards,
Yeah.
it was tied in the perfect depressing bow where it was like, oh, you're gonna cry, like you don't think you will, but you will. And I did, I definitely cried, because it was sad. And it really rocked him to his core. And I was like, man, the
Yeah.
next time we see Spider-Man, he is going to be a broken man. Like he's been through way too much at this point.
Yeah.
um
I think the saddest part for me is like the fact that everybody just forgets who Spider-Man is, who Peter Parker is. I guess is more Peter Parker doesn't exist anymore, and so like Aunt
yeah,
May's
no
dead.
friends, no
Yeah,
family,
Ned
no
and
support system.
right, exactly. Like to me, I can't imagine that happening. I mean, obviously, that's an unrealistic situation a bit, but like, but I mean, I guess the only realistic part is like if you move to somewhere completely new and you actually do lose everybody around you, and then it's as much like the situation as it can be, where you feel like you don't actually exist, and it's like because nobody knows who you are. Like, I don't know. I guess that's kind of yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think that's kind of the how it relates, but
Yeah, yeah, I would 100% agree because it's kind of the loneliness factor.
yeah.
And Spider-Man, like, yeah, it can feel lonely when he hasn't told people that he's Spider-Man. But I think at this point, like, I don't think there's really a comic that we've seen where he doesn't have anybody as a support system. He usually always has like one or two people. But this next movie, like at least so far, maybe he knows Doctor Strange, but Doctor Strange doesn't know who Spider-Man is. He just knows Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's kind of even then he doesn't really have a support system through him. He only just kind of has like oh well, he knows like who Spider-Man is, but he doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Right.
But yeah, so I can only imagine what he's going to be like the next time we see him.
Yeah.
But now that we talked about the good of the MCU, it's time to jump to the other side of the coin. And I want to bring up, you can do top three if you'd like. I really have one movie
Okay.
that
Are we including shows in there too?
you can, if you would. You know what? One movie, one show. I'll do
Okay.
that.
Okay. Show Secret Invasion that shouldn't even exist.
Shoot that show in the head.
It
That
doesn't
should
even.
die by lethal injection. That show is terrible.
They literally like the Marvels and like whatever else like that's supposed to like follow up on it. They pretend it didn't exist either. Like that's how bad Marvel realized how bad it was, and they're just like, yeah, we can just pretend this didn't happen.
I don't
Um,
know how good they thought that show was going to be, but they really overplayed their hand on that one because I
yeah,
was like, wow, this show is unwatchable. Like, it
yeah,
just doesn't make sense. It changes so much about the MCU, especially like Rhodey. It
yes,
makes it so that, oh, well, he's been out of commission since Civil War. This is the dude that respectfully bowed when Tony Stark died at the battle. Like, he died at the Battle of New York, but like the Avengers Endgame version for the Avengers compound. This
yeah,
is the dude that was at the funeral comforting Tony Stark's family and
in
watching the
Klein,
final video he made.
yeah,
Nah, I don't accept that. Like, I'm not accepting that. I apologize. That I'm not somebody who just like, oh, I don't like it. I'm not witnessing this as canon. this is the one exception for the MCU. I
Yeah,
do not witness this movie as canon to the universe.
yeah. I don't
Sorry,
think
this
anybody
show.
does. I don't think anybody does. Movie.
Kevin
Ooh.
Feige doesn't.
Yeah, yeah.
If
um,
Kevin doesn't, we're set. We're all
yeah.
good.
Movie. I mean, there's quite a few contenders. Thor: Love and Thunder was a disappointment. Quantumania ended up being a disappointment. Obviously, now. And those are
Everyone's
movies that
talking
I
about
think.
their holes in that movie.
Yeah, well, I found parts of those movies entertaining on first watches, and then I realized, well, then the entertaining parts aren't actually that great. But
Yeah.
so I don't really like those. Um, I feel like I wasn't as like onto the hate train for Eternals, but I feel like that doesn't really matter anymore because Kevin Feige again wants to pretend they don't exist. Um, I don't
We're
know.
never
There's
gonna see any of those characters
no,
again.
no.
Kumail
So
Nanjiani, they deleted his phone number. They're not
yeah,
in now.
they did.
Other than What If Season 3 for Kingo.
Who cares about What If? Like, I honestly, What If season one was like the best of What If, and then I feel like they just kept going downhill with two and season
See,
two.
Season 2 was good, but they just brought, like, I don't know. I didn't know how I felt about Doctor Strange being the villain again after he went through a whole character arc of, like,
Right.
redemption and becoming the good guy.
Exactly.
Um, so at that point, I just thought it was lazy writing, and they did a bunch of like multiverse shit, and they jam packed it into one big fight. Which, like, yeah, that's fine, but at the same time, some of these ideas in the one big fight are better than what we got in all of season 3.
Yeah, season three, I don't even know what the writers were on, but it wasn't
Crack
good. Yeah,
cocaine, because
like
it couldn't have been a good drug.
no, I mean the fact that a whole plot line revolves around Howard the Duck and Darcy having a child, um,
I'll
like
do a backflip right now out of this
yeah,
chair.
and it's like the child is played by what Natasha Lyonne, who was just in Fantastic Four. I
Yeah,
mean,
which is whole. They were like, "We're so sorry. We're gonna put you in a Fantastic Four
yeah,
movie."
I'm just like yeah, what if season three was such a disappointment? The only like episode that I remember being like having like a decent concept was where they put Mysterio with like Ironheart, and then like basically Mysterio
Yes.
caused the whole world to decay. And like I thought that was a really cool idea, but then again they kind of ended that on a terrible note because then I don't know. I not that I dislike Ironheart, but like I just also feel like that was very odd. All of a sudden she is able to defeat this Mysterio who was basically become like a god and cause the whole world to like break apart. So I don't know. I'm just like it was just very odd
Yeah.
to me. But
Yeah, I 100% agree. Um, TV show. Yep, we got the same one because Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is such a pile of dog shit, which is sad because like all of the people in this show, they have some really good actors in this show.
Sam
Like
Jackson, Olivia
the
Colman.
cast was stacked.
Mhm.
And I was truly like watching this show. Like they had Olivia Colman, and Olivia Colman is an amazing actress, and like Amelia Clark, and
Mhm.
yeah, they had Samuel L. Jackson, they have Ben Mendelsohn,
Yeah.
they had Martin Freeman come back for like 5 seconds, and they were like, "All right, hey, you're gonna be a scroll," and then I'm like, "Okay, that's it. Like, where is he at? No, we don't know." But yeah, that show drives me nuts. My least favorite Marvel show by far.
Mhm.
Um, because they also just like the comic was so cool. How do you take a cool comic book and make it like bad? I didn't even know
Not
that was
follow it at all.
possible until they made that show.
Yeah.
But the movie that I dislike the most in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you probably already know which one I'm going to bring up because I talk so much crap about this movie to you. Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, that's
That
in there for me too.
movie, I am so, oh my gosh. I don't even like to act like it exists. Like I acknowledge it, but I refuse to rewatch it. I'm like, yes, this movie is canon of the timeline. We need it to get the ether and to get like, we have to get one of the Infinity Stones from it. but it does not make me happy. So honestly, my worst nightmare came true in Endgame, where they took us back to Thor: The Dark World. I was like, oh great, we're back in a terrible story. I liked that version because it was like, oh haha, like yep, we went back to a terrible movie. We're just gonna be in and out. But oh, it was my worst nightmare. I was like, I swear to God, if I see Malekith, I'm out the theater. Like I can't do this right now. I
Yeah,
will walk out. But yeah, that is my least favorite Marvel movie of all time. I would rather have the Incredible Hulk play on repeat in my mind for honestly every waking moment of my life before I would want to rewatch Thor: The Dark World.
I yeah, I will say with Dark World, like it did used to be last as well. You know that because we've talked about it too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at least it fits in the Infinity Saga story. It had the Reality Stone. It had Loki. Loki made that movie somewhat entertaining. Somewhat.
If they
But
need a show or movie to be like entertaining or at least get people to watch it, they're like put Loki in this,
yeah,
and
that's true.
people will come
That's true. Everybody loves Tom Hiddleston.
as they
So
should.
the mischievous scamp. Um, yeah, I'm just like, but I understand because it is boring aside from that, and it just doesn't. There's so many things that are also wrong with it. So I get that. They like Thor was fun in the first two Avengers movies, although Age of Ultron he goes off and sits in a pool of water to get like the Infinity Stone vision, and then he makes Vision with his lightning, like,
Yep.
um, but like Ragnarok was where Thor like first. It was Ragnarok and Infinity War, and then Endgame. He at least had an arc, whether or not like
He
that was.
had something.
Yeah, he had something. But and he at
Noob
least like
Master 69.
yes, I mean at least Thor got to look like a freaking Viking in the Endgame final battle. Like that made up for it.
That was
Um,
amazing.
so I like that, and it again at least it was an arc. But like Ragnarok and Infinity War Thor is like the best Thor we've gotten in the MCU.
I do like the language that they have Thor use, or like how he interacts with certain Marvel characters, is so great in the MCU.
Mhm.
Like my favorite part of Endgame is at the end when like Captain America can also summon Mjolnir,
Yes,
and Thor accidentally summons Mjolnir, and Captain America summons Stormbreaker,
yes,
and Thor just goes, "No, no, you take the small one, I take the big one," and then they just like swapped real quick and kept fighting, and I was like, yeah, all right, I like that. Like that was funny.
yeah,
But yeah, I heavily agree with he looked like a Viking and it was amazing because
yeah,
when he was like, glad we're all in agreement, and then he like held his hands out,
yes,
the armor came on and he had the braids and his hair. Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
yeah.
Um, we talked about Marvel. Now it's time to switch over to something that I think is usually a little bit more my side of the tracks. We're going to turn over to the dark side real quick, or in James Gunn's eyes, the lighthearted, punch you in the face side. But we're going to go to the DC comics. Um, so I figured I would ask kind of off the bat. If you want to give your top three for these, that's fine too. But your favorite DC superhero and your favorite DC villain.
Okay, and this is a bit harder. I'm trying, like, honestly, after James Gunn's Superman, like, Superman has skyrocketed a little more, because, that I felt was where I could actually realize who Superman is as a character. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably go Batman, though. I mean, Batman is, like, the DC character I feel like I understand the most. And more often than not, I feel like they do Batman correctly.
Unless you're
Um,
George Clooney.
yeah, unless you're George Clooney. Oh God.
Unless you're George Clooney in 1997, then no, they
Yeah,
do not do Batman correctly.
yeah. Poor George Clooney.
Yeah,
Uh,
still love George Clooney. I still love that movie out of nostalgia, but like it's can't really defend it. I just kind of got to go like I enjoy it. It's a fun time, but I know that yikes,
yeah,
it's not. I can't say it's the most comic accurate Batman we've ever got.
yeah. And then DC villain. I'm gonna go with the Riddler. Maybe
All
it's because I
right.
also really love Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey as the Riddler was hilarious and great.
Thank you.
Yeah, like and then Paul Dano did a much different take on the Riddler that was like creepy instead of like
More
instead.
Zodiac killer-esque.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it was a different version, and I thought it was really cool to do a version of that as opposed to like when we got Jim Carrey's version, which was also very good.
Hell yeah. I like that a lot, especially because if I move out of the way here, right here at this bottom row of my DC Funko Pops that you'll see right around this area, I have 3 Funko Pops of Jim Carrey's The Riddler. So yeah, I have 3 different Funko Pops of him, and it's amazing. I love all of them.
Yeah.
No, 2 different Funko Pops. My apologies. There's the one where he's in the all green suit, and then
Yes.
there's the one at the end where he's wearing like the sparkly one. Like, I've seen your mind, freak, and like I've loved that suit. Um, but yeah, so it's I have both those Funko Pops. I love that movie. That's my comfort movie. I have way too much nostalgia for it. I could never be mad at it. Val Kilmer, God rest in
Yeah.
his soul.
Yes.
He was honestly pretty good in that role. I thought he
Mhm.
was very. I did like him as Batman, especially
Yeah.
when he was like, "Could I pack a sandwich for you, sir?" And he looks at Alfred like, "I'll get drive-through." And I'm like, "All right, man." Like,
Yeah.
I still laugh at that joke. I'm sorry, it's funny to me, and I won't not laugh.
Yeah.
But I really do like that movie, so I'm very glad that you brought that up.
Yeah. I liked Val Kilmer. I actually think. I mean, I think my favorite Batman is always going to be Christian Bale. I think Robert Pattinson is now up there because the Batman was good. And then probably Michael Keaton and Val Kilmer are pretty close there too. So I mean, that's probably the top four of what I would
There we
say.
go. We got Michael Keaton. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I was like, "Where's his name, Baruki?"
Yeah.
But um, I will say I have to push back real quick. There, you might be surprised to hear this because I told somebody this the other day and they went, "Really?"
I think I know who you're about to say
But
because I think you said it to me before too.
I am not a big fan of Paul Dano as the Riddler.
Oh, that's not the take I thought. I thought you were going with the Batman
Ben
take.
Affleck is
That's what I thought. I was like, that's what I thought you were going with.
that my top 3 Batmen are Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, and actually, Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, and Robert Pattinson.
Mm, yeah.
That one has also gotten me beat up. No, it hasn't. But that is my take. So please don't hate me, Batman fans. I still love Batman. I love all Batman. As you can tell by all the Batman stuff behind me, and I even have more Batman merch off to my left and right. And Joker tattoo, but that was only like $300. But for that, um, yeah, I like how he's a little bit more Zodiac, but honestly, I really like one who's a little bit more in depth with the puzzles and like he wants to outsmart Batman.
Hmm.
And that's really his driving force in a lot of the comics is like he needs to prove that he is smarter than Batman. Which it's fine that they wanted to change it a little bit. I'm not saying I hate that Riddler. It's just not my favorite interpretation because of he's a little bit more of the serial killer vibe and a little bit less of like the Riddle Master.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
a bad interpretation, just not one that was really fully up my alley. I still think he was good, but I just have other preferences for my Riddler. Um, this one I have to do top 3 because I love DC Comics. I am a huge DC Comics fan. I pretty much wake up and I eat DC Comics material for breakfast. I freaking love everything they do, except for the DCEU. That had a couple bumps in the road for me too, guys. But it was a rough decade to be a DC fan for a little bit there. Somehow, and like, oh, it was crazy. But my favorite character of all time, we all knew who it was going to be. It's Batman. I love Batman more than life itself. I have so much Batman merch. I go out of my way to collect anything that I can find that's Batman. My friends and family know this too. My uncle, actually, right back here on that kind of top shelf, he bought me, he was at an antique store and he saw a watch and it's a watch that they sold to promote the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman.
Oh
So
wow.
this is one of the watches that was released in 1989. So it has like the year inscribed in it, and it has like that logo that was in the movie, or at least used to promote the movie, because his logo was a little bit different on the suit. But I love stuff like that. My mom has bought me like old comic books. They've always find like cool collectible Batman stuff for me. And please keep buying it, because as long as I have room in this house, I will display any Batman that I can possibly display. My number two is one that not a lot of people expect, but it's Rorschach from Watchmen.
Mm.
Rorschach is a very dark character who I really enjoy reading about. I like him a lot, especially kind of how he interacts with the Watchmen universe, and how he went from someone who, you know, dealt with criminals a certain way, and then he ended up, these people are filth. Like, I need to change how I deal with them. I can't believe I was ever that soft. It's just an interesting character progression to see, especially in that main kind of. I have the Watchmen, like the big, pretty much like the big omnibus book where it's the collection of the whole story. And I freaking adore Rorschach. Plus, the mask is awesome. I'm not gonna lie. As a kid, that's what got me invested in Rorschach. As like a little 7-year-old, I wasn't like, "Wow, this story about murder is great." But I'm flipping through these comic pages. I'm like, "There's a dude where his face moves. Yes, like that's a cool guy. That guy looks cool." And I actually dressed up like Rorschach for Halloween last year. And I have the
Wow.
mask where if you breathe on it, there's like a material where it activates due to heat. So, and that it actually changes the
Oh.
ink blot on the face. And then when I breathe in, it sucks out some of the moisture. So it goes back to the original logo. So I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, oh, and that mask didn't like cost a lot of money. So I was like, oh, well, I'm cost effective now. But my number three favorite hero would definitely have to be Dr. Fate. I love Dr. Fate, and my favorite part is like it kind of jumps back and forth between mantles. But my favorite one is Kent Nelson. That's my favorite Dr. Fate, which is also we got to see a version of that
Pierce
Dr. Fate in
Brosnan.
the Black Adam movie. Hope The Rock doesn't see this video. But yeah, we got to see a very good version of Dr. Fate in that movie. I love reading the comics about that, and kind of how the helmet will take over a little bit more than the user will be able to control. So I really like stories that dive into that a little bit. But for villains, I love my DC villains. So really, my number one DC villain, he is the biggest hater of all time. In my professional nerd opinion, this man hates his hero more than anybody else could possibly hate their counterpart in all of DC Comics. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the Reverse Flash. That man hates Barry Allen more than anybody else ever could possibly dream of hating Barry Allen. Like the memes that you've probably seen, Brookie, of like "it was me, Barry. I went back in fourth grade and made you poop your pants in front of the class," or like has him do some crazy thing because it's like, "I just wanted to go back and make your life miserable." Because that's literally what he does. He goes back in time and he kills like the Flash's mom like 9 times out of 10 in most iterations of the Flash. He's the one who he like went back in time, went in and killed Flash's mom, and then he frames his dad for it. Which is like, can you think of anything else that's like, oh, this screams hater? I can't. That's the craziest example I got. But falling behind the Reverse Flash in second place is another one of DC Comics' biggest haters. We got Lex Luthor.
That's
So
what I
I
thought
really
you were
like
gonna go
Lex
with.
Luthor, especially in the Superman movie. Nicholas Hoult, he was
Yeah.
amazing. Before everything kind of came out a couple of years ago, the 2006 or 2000, I think it's 2005, 2006 Lex Luthor, where it was Kevin Spacey
Oh
in the
boy.
Brandon Ruth movie. He was pretty good in that movie. Obviously, I don't associate anymore. But I thought that's kind of the movie where I was like, oh, Lex Luthor's like evil as crap. Like this guy's pretty cool. But I always kind of really like him because of, he also, I just like villains where it's like, I just hate this person and I want to make their life miserable. And that's Lex Luthor as well, just not to the extent of Reverse Flash. And then really, my last favorite, I would probably have to go. This will surprise you because it's probably not going to be who you think it is. I'm going to say Owlman.
Oh,
So Owlman is like the opposite of Batman, pretty much. He is. He was in an animated movie that they made for one of the Crisis movies, and he was voiced by James Woods originally in the movie that he was in. And he is, instead of being like Bruce Wayne, this is a boy that, like, I think he was adopted by the Wayne family and then Bruce was born. So I believe he actually kills Bruce Wayne and his parents, and then he kind of takes over the fortune and becomes Owlman. I believe that's the background. I haven't read up on Owlman in a while, but I think about him constantly due to this movie because he's so good. And he's voiced to perfection by James Woods. But there's he in the movie, he's just phenomenal and he looks awesome. But yeah, that's the biggest thing to me is if you have a character that looks awesome, I am 900% more likely to be susceptible to liking them. So Owlman, highly encourage you to check him out. He's a really cool, just evil guy that's pretty much the anti-Batman. As Batman's like, there's hope, we need to save people. Owlman is pretty much like, we're all gonna die. Life doesn't matter. So why should we live? And then he pretty much tries to end every Earth ever. And he tries to blow up the entire multiverse. Because he says, if I locate the prime Earth and I blow that Earth up, all other Earths will die. So
wow.
he does. He finds that like prime Earth and he takes the bomb there. But Batman sends the bomb somewhere else. And like Owlman, he turns around and he sees the bomb and he has like a couple seconds to hit abort so the bomb won't blow up. And he literally just goes, it doesn't matter. And then the bomb just explodes and he dies. Yeah, like he's crazy, dude. It's crazy. But also that's what made him such like a hateable villain because he was just like, oh my gosh, like you pessimistic piece of crap, dude. Like, God, nobody ever had you eat ice cream before. Like, why do you hate everything, man? But yeah, really, those are my big superheroes and supervillains inside of the DC universe. I know we got a couple movies out. So, what is your favorite DC movie
Okay, so
other
I
than Black Adam?
definitely not Black Adam. James Gunn's Superman is definitely up there now. I mean, I think the new DCU is on the right track. It's started great, so I'm optimistic that we'll get another great superhero franchise. And maybe it will start becoming better than the MCU is currently, but we'll see. But and then I don't know, James Gunn's Suicide Squad. I also enjoyed way better than the other Suicide Squad. Um, so yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
You're missing a
Ooh,
couple, Baruch. I'm surprised.
ooh. I'm trying to think. Oh, the Batman's good. I think those are probably the top three. And then I mean the Dark Knight is another Dark Knight, but
I was gonna say, I was like, Baruchi, hey, you said your
I was
man.
thinking
Like,
recently, and then I'm like, okay, Dark Knight is really good.
yeah.
Um, and then least favorite. I mean, there's quite a few. Um, David Ayer's Suicide Squad is terrible. Justice League is terrible. Um, so
Joss Whedon
those
should have gone to federal prison for making that movie, and I will die on that hill.
yeah. And then let's see. Um, I mean, again, there's so many, but those are probably the two that are just like abominations.
He
Um,
said there's so many.
yeah. I mean, I Batman v Superman I didn't really enjoy. I'll be honest. I know there's an Ultimate Edition which makes it better, but again,
It makes it slightly better. I
okay.
am an owner of the Ultimate Edition, and it does not fix all of the problems that that movie had.
Okay, so I'm justified in not liking it as much. Um, I do think the Snyder Cut is good. It's not a movie that I will go revisit. Just because I'm not going to sit there for 4 hours to
No, I'm
watch.
not strong enough.
Yeah,
God didn't give me that much willpower.
yeah. It's good for the fact that it is one person's actual vision for what they wanted to do with their Justice League movie. But yeah, again, won't revisit it. I mean, I feel like that's kind of my favorites and least favorites. I mean, again, the Dark Knight trilogy is amazing. That's probably, if I put all three of those together for Christian Bale's Batman movies, like those are probably I think those are probably overall better than the Batman. And then although the Batman was good, but and then yeah, James Gunn's movies have been really good. So
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. I would probably say that honestly, I like a lot of DC movies. You know, I'm a huge fan of the DC movies. My top three are going to be in this order. This is how I would rank them. Number one is The Batman with Robert Pattinson. Absolutely love that movie. I adore that movie with all my heart. Um, Number two, James Gunn's Superman. Phenomenal. I love that movie. I went and saw it twice. The first time was in IMAX at the early showing on Tuesday night for Amazon Prime members. And I remember just being blown away. Like I was watching that movie with Ethan, and I remember the movie was going on, and like I was giggling, and like we were having such a good time. We were like holding on to each other's arm and being like, "Oh my gosh!" Like we're watching this right now. Like we've been waiting for this, and we were so excited. And I make a habit of if there's a movie that I'm really excited for, I do not eat or drink anything
mhm.
before or during that movie. So like I'll eat earlier in the day, but like right before the movie, I will not eat and I won't eat or drink during the movie because I don't want to miss a single second. And Superman was one of those films where I'm like, I just can't. I can't miss any part of this film. This means a lot. And I am very glad that that movie was even better than I thought it would be because I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then honestly, my third favorite would probably be the Joker movie. The second one, wah wah.
Okay,
But the first one,
Folia Do is also one of my least favorites. I completely forget that existed because
yeah,
I wanted to
because
push
it's
it out of my
so
mind.
forgettable.
Yeah,
But yeah, the first Joker movie was so good. So honestly, that one is still up there for me. It's kind of been tarnished because the second one is so bad, but that one is still up there for me. I still think that movie is very good, and the performances are amazing. But yeah, those are really my top three. I love way more DC movies than that. Michael Keaton Batman. I
mhm.
love Batman and Batman Returns from 1992. I love Batman Forever with Val Kilmer. I love Batman 1966 with Adam West. I have like a couple episodes of that on my phone. I love that movie. I still do the penguin laugh from that show where you go, "Wah, wah, 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 wah." And like, I love that show. I still think it's the best. I love how campy the villains are. I love the funny stories. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb, and he's just like running around. There's a bunch of nuns, and he's like, "Oh, nuns! I can't drop this here." And then it's so funny. I can't help but giggle at it. But Christopher Reeve's Superman. Those movies are phenomenal as well. Some of them, not all of them. But I know there's four of them. Two of them are good. Let's be honest. Um, I thought the Brandon Ruth Superman Returns, that movie was great. The Flash, womp womp. I thought it was good at first, but I was mostly just nostalgic of having Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck in it as Batman. But really, not as good as it could have been, and that CGI at the end is terrible. Um,
Yeah. Seeing the clips, I just of everything. I thought the CGI in the clips was terrible. So I was like, I'm
Yeah,
so glad I
those
didn't waste my
babies.
money.
Oh my gosh, CGI babies. People stop trying it. Like Fantastic Four, ugly CGI baby.
Yeah.
The Flash, ugly CGI babies. Like just leave babies alone. Don't CGI babies anymore. Just stop. Don't do it, please. But yeah, there's other movies that I love as well. My least favorites, Joker Folie à Deux, 100% back you on that. Suicide Squad, I was excited for it, and somebody will probably point out that I have the Joker tattoo that he has in that movie. This is not an endorsement of that film. This is an endorsement that the tattoo looked cool as hell and I wanted it. All right. This is not an endorsement of that movie. But Green Lantern, who can forget Green Lantern?
I pushed that out a couple as well, but I mean, Ryan Reynolds and Taika Waititi literally hate that movie too. So
Yeah, they hate the shit out of that movie. Well, what kills me is, like, honestly, I think one of the strongest parts of that movie is Sinestro. And Mark Strong, who ended up being in Shazam,
yeah,
he was the main villain in the first Shazam. He actually played Sinestro
yeah,
in that Green Lantern movie, and he was actually really good. So I was kind of sad that we didn't get to see him again. Because, like, I think it was like an end credit scene. You see
yeah.
him put the yellow ring on, and he gets this, like, Sinestro core suit, which, that would have been great. But Ryan Reynolds, glad you got Deadpool, because that one didn't work out. But yeah, DC is another one of my loves. So really, it's been through some rough patches, Baruki.
Yeah,
It's
I did
not
like
always been fun to be a DC fan.
I did like the first Shazam, then the second Shazam, big thumbs down. But yeah,
God,
but
the Shazam. I'm sorry, like, no hate to Zachary Levi, even though I don't like him that much, but like, I just can't. I just don't like that movie a lot. It's not because it was bad or anything. It's just, Shazam isn't a character that I particularly enjoy. So it's no problem with Zachary Levi. It's just a problem with, like, I don't really like the character a lot.
right,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I think the first one did well with the premise, and then was funny, and then yeah, the second one just took everything with the premise and stomped it into the ground. So
yeah. But yeah. So other than that, I think that's we talked about a lot of stuff.
we did.
And it's crazy because I don't think we've ever got to talk about DC Comics a lot. We've talked about it before, and I know
Yeah,
that we did reviews for Batman the Cape Crusader,
yeah, we did.
which was a good show. Love that show.
I did. I thought it was
Add
good.
that to the list of things that I like. And if you're a nerd who doesn't like that show, but yeah, I listen, man. I love Batman, and like most times that Batman's on screen, I'm gonna like him, even if it's in a bad movie or a bad show. But I don't think that's a bad show, so argue with me. I don't give a shit. But yeah, other than that, Baruki, is there anything else that you would like to add before we kind of end the interview for you?
Yeah, well, again, subscribe to the Tribe of Nerds, follow our socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We got a website. You can go read our bios. Josh and I have our bios up there, as well as everybody else on the team. So go check that stuff out. We got a lot of interesting stuff going on. We got a bunch of Survivor stuff going on right now. And, we got movie stuff that Josh, Gabe, and I just reviewed, Superman and Fantastic Four. So we got those up. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot. So we're talking about Lost. So if anybody loves the show Lost, go check that out. It's my first time watching. So go watch that. And then Austin and I are going to be gearing up for another playthrough of Pokemon. So if people like watching Pokemon playthroughs, that'll be happening within the next couple months. Probably we're gonna set up for it. So yeah,
Awesome. Heck yeah. Well, also, hey, be on the lookout because I just started watching a new franchise. So I'll be unleashing some reviews about that soon. I've started watching The Lord of the Rings. So
ooh,
just last week, I finished Fellowship of the Ring. I'm halfway through watching Two Towers, and then I will be watching the finale movie. So Return of the King, it's almost time. Everyone's been telling me, like, you're gonna love that movie, bro. So I'm kind of waiting to get there now. I've mastered my Gollum impression, so don't worry about me. No, missing that like Shazam too. But yeah, so I've been working on that. So we're having a blast over here. But yeah, be on the lookout. Some reviews for Lord of the Rings coming soon. Go subscribe to the Tribe of Nerds. You'll see me on there sharing some nerdy knowledge or reviewing some movies or TV shows very, very soon. But yeah, other than that, go out into the world and go be kind to someone.